Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another PGR reaction. Today we are going to be continuing from the last video where I said I would be listening to the Anti-General song. Apparently it's called Sota, which kind of means smooth and suddenly, if my minor Japanese knowledge doesn't fail me there, assuming that this is even Japanese. It's very likely it's actually Chinese, but they kind of share some characters, so it's very likely that I'm reaching the same conclusion through translation there, but I digress. This is just the next song I was going to be listening to from that same comment, and I guess without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, you can't start a song like that. So very design heavy, sound design heavy. Lots of sound design. Oh man, the frequencies in this. Those are unreal. A little jarring, actually. Like, I could see this song being grating almost to listen to for some people. I'm okay, but there's definitely some frequencies hidden in there that I'm like, But that just lends itself so well to sound design being a part of it. This song is just mood. It is energy. This is so intriguing. It's like I'm being fed through a scanner. All right. And keeping those frequencies around. Actually treating those like they're part of the melody. That's super neat. This is such a different sound. This is so unique. Dude. Yeah, no wonder I had people saying I should get to that one. Where has that been hiding this whole time? Like, that's such a different way to look at musical composition. I have talked plenty, especially recently, about sound design in music and how I love how things are being just scattered throughout. I've always loved sound design in general, but musical sound design is a completely different monster, and this is an entirely different category of that same monster. This is a different way to approach it. Where, like, they were treating the sound design elements in here like that was the melody of the song. It was a completely different approach. They had frequencies that were happening that your brain usually wouldn't like I mentioned at the beginning, but they were treating them just softly enough that they weren't grating or offensive, really, at least to my ears, and I'm pretty sensitive to those higher frequencies. My brain does not like to hear them, but this didn't bother me weirdly. It got my attention. It was like a dog whistle effect in a way, but I didn't feel like I was offended by it in any way. And hearing all those and the way that he was like weaving it in and out, the way that he changed that like section of frequency when it changed the whole feeling of the song in the middle there with the faster drums and kind of using that breakbeat in there, and then just pushing that forward, but having it like softer in the background, like keeping it around while he still messed with other elements of the song, having these more sound design focused elements in there, like the strings on whatever instrument that was being just kind of plucked and scraped against, and adding that as a sound design. And again, it was pretty much all sound design. This was an entirely just an atmosphere song. It was just atmosphere, but it sounded so cool. It had some horns in there, of course, some like brass sections, some synthetic brass underneath there. And that was just acting as a bass line, so you didn't kind of forget that this was a song. You kind of have to have something going on there so your brain doesn't just get lost in the sauce, so to speak. But like, that was so minimal. That was moving at such a lethargic pace. You didn't really have to think about it, worry about it. It was just kind of there, reminding you with those constant stings that this is still a song and this is still a very intense moment. Everything else was just tension, constant tension, lots of dissonant things happening in here with the sound design. Lots of those string sounds just don't work together, but that's the whole point. So this whole thing felt like it was just pressuring you and you couldn't get away, and it was just so intense. This is the type of thing that you're kind of used to hearing in like spy games, shit like Metal Gear Solid. Games like that would use sound design and music in collaboration like this to make you feel like your situation is much more tense, even if that's removing elements of the music to make it feel a little bit more like you need to be quiet here, you need to be very careful, there's higher tension, there's higher risk reward, and then they can put that stuff back in there when you need to get like into a battle or something. Those elements that are a little bit more musical in tone and kind of help you keep a rhythm to the game you're playing, the fight you're having, like all those brass in there. So like, this is such a cool way to handle that, and I don't think I've heard somebody do exactly this with their sound design in music. Like I said, I've heard plenty of it, I've talked about it plenty, but this is such a different way to handle that compared to the other stuff I've heard in games before. So this is just such a unique piece in and of itself, and I absolutely adore the way that it was done because it handled that balance so beautifully well. And it makes me wonder if all of Anti-General's stuff is like this, or if this was just an experimental approach to something and he was just like, hey, trust me here, let me cook, and then came out with this. This is an insane result. I absolutely love how creative this was. It's more itching like a thing in my brain that's like craving that constant need to hear something new, different, unique like it is. And this scratched that itch. I loved this. It is one of the most unique songs I've heard in a hot minute, and I appreciate the fuck out of it for that. This is so good. But I also feel like if I keep yapping, there will be problems, so I'm going to stop my yapping there. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs from PGR you want me to get to, by all means, leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to them as I always do. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!